What's your goal? Is your goal to be successful in your life? Is complaining about things going to make you better? Probably not. Does that mean, I mean, understand what I'm saying? This isn't like, stop complaining. It's just not helping you. That's all. All it does is it makes you angry, it makes you bitter, it makes you frustrated, it probably makes you resentful, full of contempt towards other people. It probably encourages you to do things like take shortcuts. I mean, there is no such thing in life as a shortcut in anything, because if there was a shortcut, that would be the way. And you ever think like, what is it that a star represents? And a star is a thing that it's something that exceeds your grasp. Maybe that's the lesson, man, that what you're reaching for, your reach should exceed your grasp. You're reaching for something that's beyond what you can actually achieve. Because if you aim for something that you maybe can't reach, it gives you a goal to constantly orient yourself towards, and you're always going better and better and better. At the very, very end, I saw some people, like the last couple who were doing it, and someone told me those are the ones who were like messing around and not doing it right the whole time. But the last 2 or 3 people I saw out there doing it, they were doing really well. I mean, they were like full on duck walk carrying that thing. But that's because they had one coach next to them, following them and telling them to do it. And you just think like, wow, imagine if that person who just proved they're capable of it, imagine if they did that way from the beginning. I mean, they're demonstrate they're capable of it. Why did you need someone to stand above you and walk you through it? There's this old basketball coach at UCLA, John Wooden. He has the most championships of any college coach. I think he coached like 12 years or 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. And he won that many titles. It's unreal. I think they won like 12 in a row or something like that. And he had this great saying, which was, if you just discipline yourself and others won't have to. Now, how many times did those last couple of people, how many times did they have to do it wrong? And still get tired, still get frustrated, still, just to at the end find out that they were capable of it. I don't know. The whole time there were some people who were, like I said, whining about it, their faces and their bodies, and there's some people who just got right to it. Those are two very different approaches to it. And you can see how that carries over into other areas of our lives. If you're a person who just gets right to it, like one thing I kind of understand at a psychological level, but like people who will fail a class. Why? It's boring. So what do you have to do after you fail? You come back and do it during summer school? Come back and do it during credit recovery after school, 5 days a week for a few months? Does it get more exciting when you do it that way? I understand what it is, largely. You're not going to like it, but what it really is largely is I find those people when I talk to them, they just really don't want to be home. They don't mind being here on Saturday. They don't mind being here after school. They don't mind being here in summer because they just don't want to be home. And it's like, all right, I get that. There's one guy who, I had him in summer school. He failed summer school. He failed the class. It was an English 10 class. He then failed credit recovery because I did a credit recovery. He failed the credit recovery with me. And then he also failed summer school. And all of them had something in common. Why did he fail? He didn't turn stuff in. He did like half of his work. And that was it. And I would talk to him. I know I'm friends with his sister, and I was asking him, why do you? He's like, I don't know. My friends are here. I'm like, yeah, but you got to take the class 4 times. And he's fine mood about it. He's like, I'll get it next time. Okay, all right. Yeah. But I think about what else you could be doing in your life. And I guess in a lot of people's minds, it's just whatever I'm doing. I just don't want to be home. I get that. But depending on what home's like, I can process that. But it's always like this thing that just baffles me. I just try to piece that together when I talk to just people generally, or even students especially, that there are these two approaches. We're all in the same place. We're all in the same school. We're largely in the same general situations, of course. Obviously, some people have it better than others, but those are the people who are focused on being in the gutter. They want to focus on how we're in the gutter and how things are worse for me than it is for that person. And this is what I'm struggling with, and you don't know what I'm going through. And all of that, by the way, might be true. 100% might be true. But here's the question. Does it help you? Does it help you? What's your goal? Is your goal to be successful in your life? Is complaining about things going to make you better? Probably not. Does that mean, and understand what I'm saying? This isn't like, stop complaining. It's just not helping you. That's all. All it does is it makes you angry, it makes you bitter, it makes you frustrated, it probably makes you resentful, full of contempt towards other people. It probably encourages you to do things like take shortcuts. I mean, there is no such thing in life as a shortcut in anything, because if there was a shortcut, that would be the way. That was something I learned from, I'm going to be 45 this week. This is something I should have learned way earlier in my life. I learned this like a week and a half ago. One of my jiu-jitsu professors, I was talking to him, and he made a comment about how people are always trying to find like a shortcut to a submission or a shortcut to a defense. And he pointed out, if there was a shortcut, it wouldn't be a shortcut. That would be the way. So a shortcut is when you take what's already developed as the best, most efficient route, and you try to cut short of that. And if you do that, then you just cost yourself whatever growth or benefits you would have gotten from the longer run. And so if you're focused on again, that the resentment, the contempt, then of course you seek shortcuts. And when you seek shortcuts, then you just deprive yourself of the actual victory, actual growth, it's even like if you're on a team and you cheat and you win the game, it's like, yeah, I won, it's great that you won, but you didn't though. And that deprives you of the opportunity to really enjoy it. And you might say, I enjoy it, yeah, but not quite the same way you would if you actually earned it. And it's just like we talk to people, like we look at wealth, for example, wealth in this country. Wealth is generally cyclical, meaning that people who earn wealth, let's say they start off, typically people who are wealthy, they're not usually born with it. We tend to focus on the people who inherit money. Most of the people who are wealthy don't begin with money, they earn it. Then they build it, and then you've got a second generation, which are usually their children. Their children are usually around to see the sacrifices that go into building it. And so they know how to manage it, they know what it takes, and they develop it. Then the third generation are usually the people who inherit it, but never saw it get developed, never saw what it takes to earn it, and never saw what it takes to maintain it. And so when you look at wealth in this country, it's typically cyclical. You typically 3 generations. The person who earns it, the children who inherit it, and then the grandchildren who usually lose it. And this is, of course there's exceptions. There's these really good exceptions, of course, but that's such a small percentage of people. And if you just look at the children of a lot of wealthy people, you can see this, especially people who didn't necessarily earn wealth in the same way, like for example, like the children of rock stars. For example, if you're a rock star, you won the lottery, you had a lot of talent, and the situation was right, everything was perfect, but you didn't learn how to actually make the money. You just went out there, did something, and a bunch was dumped on you. That's hard enough. That's why a lot of times like actors and musicians who've never really learned how to manage money lose it all. But if not them, for sure, their children, then by the time you get that third generation, it's all gone. Why? Because we don't appreciate the fullness of the reward. The money is the reward for a job well done. The victory is the reward for a job well done. The A is a reward for a job well done. And yet if you take a shortcut to it, you didn't earn it. And that plays on you. But in any event, we're all looking up at the stars. And so we're all in the gutters. We're all in the same situation, but some people can see more. They see the opportunities. And a star is something that, oh my goodness, when you begin a Disney movie, how does every Disney movie begin? Is that when you wish upon a star? The little graphic comes up with the castle and then the star goes over. And then they had like that little jingle, which is the when you wish upon a star. It's from Pinocchio, right? Yeah, and you ever think like, what is it that a star represents? And a star is a thing that it's something that exceeds your grasp. Or maybe that's the lesson, man, that what you're reaching for, your reach should exceed your grasp. You're reaching for something that's beyond what you can actually achieve. Because if you aim for something that you maybe can't reach, it gives you a goal to constantly orient yourself towards, and you're always going better and better and better. If you aim for the moon, yeah, you might get there. You might get there. But the farther out there the thing is, and I guess that's the question of what is the thing in your life that you're aiming for? You're aiming for something really simple, you might achieve it. Or you're aiming for something really, really big, and that thing that you're aiming for, even in almost any context, like you want to be gotta be a good person. Maybe become a perfect person. Oh, it's impossible. Well, yeah, with that attitude. Oh, you're a perfect parent. Well, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. As soon as you start accepting that, you're accepting less out of yourself. There's no such thing as a perfect football player. As soon as you accept that about yourself, you're going to accept way less out of yourself. You aim for it. Doesn't mean you're going to be that thing, but you aim for it. And if you do that, then you're going to go way farther than you ever possibly would have. These are people who see something up there, and that's why I asked about the differences from Phoebe about doubts, because there are different kinds of doubts. There's a doubt in myself. Maybe I can't do it. Maybe there's a doubt that it's even possible. Why would you aim for a star? It's not even possible. Is humanity ever going to reach another star? Eventually. Yeah. But I can promise you the person who gets there is not going to be a person who's laying in the gutter saying, it's impossible, it can't happen, there's no way. There's going to be a lot of people who aim for the stars who are going to fail to get there before someone finally does. But the same is true about your life. There'll be a lot of things that you're going to aim for that you're probably going to fail before you actually finally achieve it. Because that's how you learn, hopefully. That's how you sharpen yourself. And so, is it possible? Maybe, maybe not. But as soon as you say no, it's like, well, not with that attitude. You'll hear me say that all the time, by the way. It's like teaching, I teach little kids, I'll talk more about it in a bit, but I teach little kids like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu, and you've got these two brands of kids. You've got the little kids on the ground, and someone's pinning them down, and you're telling them, turn body, blah, and they'll say, I can't. And I always say, yeah, not with that attitude. Is it possible to? Yeah. Tens of thousands of people do it every day. Why not you? It's possible. It's possible. But it's only possible for people who think that it is. And so it isn't an arrogance. It's just a hope. Sometimes that's all you need is just a little bit of hope. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, critiques? Happy Monday.